I had to live this nightmare once already. Why? Let me go. Let me go. I don't want to do it again. I know what horrors lie underneath you. Hey guys. Today we're here with PowerWash Simulator 2. That's right. I played the demo not that long ago and it is finally out. I am super, super excited. We already know the gist of it, so let's just jump right in. I think this is probably going to be, yeah, I think this is the same thing we started with before. So, I'm not going to go over the mechanics in, but what I am going to do... Kitty! Kitty is still here, yay! Best part of the game, 10 out of 10. You can pet the kitties, wonderful. Yep, yep. Huh? Da da da. Jump, jump. Huh? Parkour, parkour, parkour. Yep, scroll, scroll, scroll. Yep, manual change. Which I still don't really know what the benefit of that is, honestly. Change my nozzles. Extension. Make the dirt glow weird colors. Oh, that's something I forgot to do last time. I know on the... Ah, here it is. I knew on the... Yeah, there we go. I knew on the demo there was a way for me to change the color of the dirt. Alright. The free mode so I don't tire myself out. List. Yep, menu, menu. Alright. And with that done, let's start on the inside this time. Where is... Ah, there's my yellow nozzle. This one is still my favorite. So we're gonna just go through, and since we kind of explained everything about it last time, I'm just gonna go super fast through this part. Just literal power washing. I'm probably gonna be sloppy and miss a few tiny spots. But, hey, if it works, it works. I'm just trying to speed through the tutorial since this was part of the demo. I wish there was an option, because I know in some games they have it where if you play the demos you can save your progress and continue it into the main game. At least I didn't see an option for that here, so we're just gonna have to replay those first couple levels. Oh my gosh, I just realized that means I have to do the bathroom again. No! The cursed bathroom from hell. I don't want to do it. No! I'm gonna have to, though, aren't I? Darn it. Okay, floor's done. Walls next. Like I said before, one thing I like about these games is that they're pretty relaxing. There's something that I kind of just do whenever I want. Something easy. Kind of like when I play Supermarket Simulator. You don't always want the... Like, sometimes, yes, sometimes you want the games with action, jumping. You want the story-driven games that are impacted by the choices you make. Like when I play Date Everything or Deltarune. Sometimes you just want games where you have a task, you complete the task, and you just kind of go with the flow. Literally in this case, because it involves water. Alright, go, 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 like I'm waving a big giant eraser, pretty much. I'm honestly probably going to fast forward through some of this. If nothing else, that'll be good editing practice for me, because that is something I am still getting used to. I really don't have the money to pay for an editor, so I kind of just learning everything myself with that. But it's fun. It's a skill that I never really got to practice with much before, but getting started with these videos has been a good excuse for me to do that. Alright, back to the door, up into the shutters, because I remember that was a gross part last time. Alright. Yeah, I know you're talking to me about stuff, but you can wait a little bit. And I'll have to flip around to get the other direction in a second here. Yeah, I think that's about the best I can get from this angle. Alright, rotate. Get that last little bit there. Alright. I keep seeing, like, random things like dandelion seeds pop in through the side of the wall. I don't think the detection's very good in that regard. Alright, everything in here looks clean. Enough, at least. Anything hiding up in here? Yeah, if I see you up there. Darn grime and dirt and muck and whatnot. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I need a different nozzle. Which one was it? Yeah, it was 3 to change the nozzle. Okay. I think I got everything that I could possibly get up in there. Well, time to say goodbye to the smiley face. Alright. I could probably, yeah, add on 1 length. I imagine I'm probably going to get some different length nozzles, because I remember in the original game there was the stubby mode, there was the medium, and then there was the long, and then you got the extra long, where you could pretty much power wash the sun at that point with how long that thing frickin' was. Alright, get the back of all of you. Looks like all those are good. Get the frame a little bit. Alright, get the rest of you. Alright. Kind of blast the bottom. Like I said when I did the demo for this before, whenever I do these, oops, wrong button. The Q and the tab are way too close to each other. That is going to throw me off so bad, I can already tell. But I like to kind of start at the bottom and the insides and then work my way up and around. Just so that way I get a very satisfying final clean-off at the end. Okay, you're good. Get a little bit of the edge off there at least. Okay. That side looks pretty good. I'm not really sure what my ramble is going to be about in this game. I know that generally when I play, like, Supermarket Simulator, I go on big stream of consciousness tangents, but a lot of times they relate back to things like thievery, shopping, or one thing a lot of times that I tend to go to is food, because Supermarket Simulator, working with food. Not really sure what it's going to be that I talk about here. But honestly, if you guys have any ideas, feel free to let me know in the comments. I'd be curious to see what ideas you have or what you'd like to hear me ramble on about. Alright, first set of tires. Let's get on that side. Go ahead and get the inner hubcap and all that. Yeah. You do kind of have to go in on some areas to get there. Alright. Okay, that part's good. Oops. Alright, bottom of the steps. Go ahead and just get the bottom ledge for that so I don't have to fight with it later. Alright. Honestly, this is going by fairly quickly. Let's see. Yep, I see you complimenting me in the messages down there. Yes, I am amazing. Praise me for my skills with a power washer that unknowingly ended up saving the entire town from being cooked alive by a volcano. Okay. Everything down here looks pretty good. Alright. Around to the side, I think, this time. Alright. And I know that it had a soap mechanic before. Let's see, do I only have... Ah, there it is. I gotta let the soap build up. I did mention it before that, yep. Kitty, kitty, hello kitty. Hello Ulysses, good to see you again, buddy. Good to, you got away from that awful mayor. He absolutely sucked in the last game. But yeah, I remember one thing I said from last time was that I like that the soap is refillable now, and instead of before where you kind of had to buy the individual soaps. Hello, kitty. Hello, Squeak. Hello, baby. Oh, yes, and you get an achievement for petting the kitties as they deserve to be petted. Yes. Okay, I'm satisfied now. But yeah, I do like that they've it feels like with this they listen to what people may have had, like little minor complaints people may have had before in regards to the soap mechanic in the last game. Which, I mean, logically, yes, it makes sense that you would need to pay for bottles of soap in reality. But, I mean, come on, do we play these games for reality, or do we play them just to have fun and turn off our brains for a little bit, you know? I know what my answer to that one definitely is. And I do appreciate it when game devs listen to their fans, at least when the fans have a point. There are some fans who are just absolutely unhinged, and while they're funny in a certain context, they absolutely should not be listened to for serious advice. Alright, just go ahead and splash the front of you with some soap. Because at least since this is refillable now, I feel like I'll use the soap a lot more, whereas in the first game, I didn't really bother with it because it felt like it was a waste of time and money. But here it actually feels like it does stuff, you know? Like, this already is looking better than it was before. The only thing is that it seems like it takes a little bit for it to refill, which again, that's fair. I kind of wish there was like a refill button you could hit, so like it would just auto refill whenever you weren't using it, or like if that was a thing where it would automatically begin to refill after you switch nozzles or something. Though from an in-game logic perspective, I am curious about how that's possible. Is it like a water-activated soap suds formula sort of thing where... There we go, I think that's pretty much everything here. But yeah, is it a water-based soap thing where as soon as it comes in contact... Oh yeah, look at that. I could probably even go to green at this point. Beautiful. Love it. Love to see it. But yeah, I wonder if it's a water-based soap reactant, where as soon as you put a tiny amount of it and mix in some water, it automatically expands and blows up into these big suds. That would be cool to think about from a chemistry standpoint. I don't really know a lot about chemistry. My mom knows more than I do because she loves science and everything. But that's not something I really know. I know a lot more about, I guess you could say, about like the mechanical sides of science, especially computers and hardware. I know a lot about appliances too. For instance, one thing and I told my partner about this and they didn't really believe me when I mentioned it the first time because it surprised them so much to hear that. But one thing that a lot of people get wrong is when you use a microwave, you're actually supposed to put the food off center if you can. Like, obviously, you know, you don't want it scraping the sides of your microwave, but in general, if your microwave has a turntable, the point of the turntable is to rotate the food through the heat spot in the microwave. Because when Accidentally hit the nozzle button and messed me up. But yeah, the point of the plate in the microwave is actually that your microwave isn't like an oven where it kind of gets a big radiating heat. No, it's something that has a radioactive zone, and the food is meant to pass through that. So if you have a microwave with a turntable in it, the point of the turntable is to move it through that zone. It said I missed something around this side. I saw a little target pop up. Ah, was it the bumper? Yep. Okay, then it's just the top. Let me go on the truck. It's my truck. I can climb it if I want to. Ah, I missed a spot there. Did I miss something in here? I did. I missed the lining. Yeah, unless your microwave is something that has no turntable, the point of the turntable is to guide it through the hot zone in the microwave. So then the food basically has a chance that for all of it to be exposed to the hot zone. Whereas if you put it in the center of the microwave, that's why so many people complain about their food being cold in the middle, is because there is no heat usually in the middle of the microwave. It's in an area closer to one side. So, yeah, when I told them that, they didn't really believe me right away because that's just something that people don't really talk about or they don't really try. And honestly, a lot of people don't bother reading their manuals for anything, because in a lot of manuals it actually tells you to do that. But people are just like, oh, I know, once I get it plugged in, I know how to use a microwave. But most microwave manuals will tell you to put it slightly off-center, if you can. So, like, if you have something small, like a mug or a cup of instant noodles or something, then try to... Oh, there we go. But try to put it on the side of the plate instead of dead center. And let it go around that way. And it'll actually be a lot hotter when it comes out. Unless you have something that specifically tells you put in the center of your microwave. Okay, yep. Alright, continue. We'll go ahead and get this nightmare done so I can move on to the enjoyable parts. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this, Kitty. Don't make me do it, please. I really don't want to, Ulysses. I had to live this nightmare once already. Why? Let me go. Let me go. I don't want to do it again. I know what horrors lie underneath you. But I can't. It's gonna make me. I know it is. Alright, Soap, you start refilling. I'm definitely gonna need you. Alright, I guess while that's going, I'll go ahead and start with this one that I know I can use. I'll try to save the soap from when you get to honestly, the area that needs to just be completely bleached and set on fire. Yes, I am still on the burn it all kick from before. I have not forgiven the sins of the people who left this bathroom in such a state. This should not be fit for public use just because we blasted it with a ton of water. That is going to give somebody a disease just walking into that bathroom. They're gonna come out of this thing with the frickin' bubonic plague, of all things. Yep, underneath too, I know. Yep. Just go ahead and blast it all. Yep. Alright. Now I can get this part taken care of. I'm not looking forward to doing this again. I'm enjoying my time in the sun with the fresh air. I know it's not gonna last. I know that soon I'm gonna have to start breathing in the stank, musty bathroom fumes. And I'm really not looking forward to that. Hopefully after this, we'll get to go somewhere cool. And I definitely want to see about upgrading and expanding our base. That's something I was really looking forward to. Because we didn't really have that in the last game. You kind of just went to different places in your washing van, your little PowerWash services van. And everybody called you a different name every single time. But I feel like with a base, you're a little bit more established. You can just go ahead and pick a name, put it on the sign, and then people kind of have to remember it. I also think that if you... I might be wrong on this one because I don't know a lot about permits. But I'm pretty sure that... I'm going to go ahead and get out the soap nozzle. Darn it, it's got to refill again. But yeah, I'm pretty sure when you have a building... Hey, baby, good to see you. But yeah, I'm pretty sure when you have a big building like that, that's registered as a business, you have to register a name with the paperwork and everything. Might be wrong because I don't know what it's like to own a business that's in a big building or anything, but I'm barely like 90 to 98% sure that's how it works, you know? If it doesn't, then yeah, I'd assume that that's kind of an area that's very heavy in criminal activity, and they just learn not to... The police and the city learn not to question things when people come in with random contracts and whatnot. And they're just like, hey, you're gonna approve this building. And they just like, yep, okay, sure, sounds good. Do we want to know what you're using it for? No. Cool, yep, alright, approved. Probably some places like Vegas where that's pretty common, I would imagine. Though even then, I imagine that they've still got their own regulations because there's a lot of more organized crime out there, especially with the casinos and everything. Because you still gotta, like, know where your money is going around there. Alright, go ahead and cleanse the outside, because I know the inside's gonna take much longer. And I'll definitely be letting the soap refill for all of that mess. Alright, let you get refilled. Hello, kitty. Thank you for being my source of comfort in all this. You too, Ulysses. I appreciate you greatly. Thank you for your services. Alright, let's go ahead and start on... I wonder what the... maybe I'll stick with green nozzle, because this one at least still has some pressure behind it. So it feels like I'm getting through some of it, you know? Oh. PowerWash services were camped out in the middle of nowhere in one heap of a filthy trouble. Can you help? Yeah, sure. I'm just gonna need, like, 2 days to bleach my brain from this horrible, horrible experience, but after that, I'll help you out. Just no bathrooms. You make me do a bathroom and I will just walk right out of there after flooding your entire room. I'm just gonna throw a bath bomb in there, shoot a big jet of water, and pray. Okay. Yeah, a little spot there. I keep hitting the wrong thing. Go ahead and just get this at least one section of the wall taken care of. Alright, all of this side looks good. After this, they'd better not make me do another frickin' bathroom ever again. Or I will riot. I will personally riot. Like, just start an army of one with nothing but a power washer marching against the these people, like, no, you are sadists making an innocent person walk in and do this. You are cruel and unusual torturers. Seriously, this could be a form of torture, is making people go in and clean these horrible, horrible bathrooms. Especially if you don't give them any actual cleaning equipment. You just tell them, hey, here's your task. You are going to be given maybe like a sponge or something, and you have to just go in and clean this bathroom that has not been touched for years. No, you don't get any protective equipment, no gloves, no mask, no nothing. You're just gonna go in there and you're gonna do it. And if you try to run away or try to hold your breath for too long, then we're pulling the trigger. Alright, quick. Well, I think the one thing that's probably gonna get on my nerves, and I imagine this is probably an upgrade we can buy later, but I imagine waiting for the soap to refill constantly is gonna get kind of old after a while. So maybe that's like their little deterrent to make it so that you still feel inclined, I guess, to do the regular power washing. Then you also kind of, even with the long nozzle, you still got to be fairly close to get it to work. It's still good as a pre-treater for the really, really caked on grime areas. It cuts through a good amount of it. And I imagine for areas, especially with metal, when there's areas that have rust, because that was one mechanic in the last game, was if you had an area with rust, sometimes you kind of either had to go for your strongest concentrated nozzles to get rid of it all, or you had to basically just bite the bullet, spend the money to get the soap, and then go at it with a regular nozzle afterwards. Alright. Go ahead and swap you, because then this should be enough to get rid of it. At least it's a lot faster this way, so I do like that. Okay, base part of the wall. Come on, what am I missing here? So like, there we go. It was on the edge. Alright, that's everything on that side. Get this last side. And then we walk into hell. Hell's outhouse, I guess. And like I said before, this is actually a pretty cool idea. It just sucks that they let it get this bad and didn't do anything with it. Okay, I think that's everything on the outside. Okay. Hello? Did I miss something here? Oh, did I miss something on the... Okay, I missed something on the poster, that's why. I don't want to look at it yet. I'm not looking at it until I've got a full soap nozzle. I'm gonna go pet the kitties, build up my nerves, comfort me babies. I need it. Mama needs this so bad. Hey Bubbles, thank you for being such a sweetheart. I see you up there watching me, laughing at my suffering. I know what you're doing. Can I pick you up from me down here? I can! If I'm suffering, you're going in with me, buddy. Come on. You know what? You can be the test dummy. You can go in there and tell me how bad it is. Start retching and throwing up in there. Oh, no way, that's gonna be something else I have to clean up later. Dang it! It's a lose-lose situation no matter what I do. Okay, it's about full. Here you go, buddy. Sit on your throne. Darn it, I can't place it there. Good enough. I remember you. I remember how much you suck. Alright, yep, okay, I got the free movement turned on. Let's just start blasting everything. Everything in here is getting sanitized. Because if I don't do it, I seriously doubt the people who paid me are gonna actually do anything about it. Because they were talking about it like they were just gonna go ahead and open this up right afterwards. Meanwhile, I'm like, excuse me? You got freaking black mold and slime and rust? You're gonna get people coming in here to use the bathroom and walking out with bubonic plague, tetanus. Hell, they're gonna come out of here with smallpox and measles somehow. I can't tell you how, but I'm pretty sure they will. I have absolute faith that the grottiness and the horror of this bathroom will defy all logic and science. And every extinct disease that mankind has managed to overcome will suddenly run rampant again from unearthing. Ugh. Oh, that was horrifying to watch it open. From unearthing the horrors of this restroom. Ugh, darn it, I ran out. Alright. Okay, I think it's refilling. I'm just gonna step outside, breathe in air that doesn't smell like nightmares and horror. Okay. Maybe I have to use... Maybe I have to use the other nozzle for a little bit before that'll refill. Which, that sucks, because I kind of wanted to cleanse this whole room first before I went back in. Like, just douse everything in soap to at least make me feel better about my life choices, you know? But it is what it is, I guess. Okay. Yeah, I see something about the fire chief being an idiot over there. I've got things of my own to worry about, buddy. I'll check your messages later when I'm not reliving the trauma of this bathroom. Okay, go ahead and get the bottom of this. I want to at least make sure that the babies can get changed on this thing without feeling like they're walking away dirtier than when they were set on it. The babies don't deserve that. Yeah, I gotta change out that nozzle. There we go. Get this little grimy strip. Need to get that side edge. Okay, I think that's everything on the changing table. Okay, at least that part's good. Alright. Go ahead and get this part of the ceiling finished up. At least now that I know about the soap, this part goes a lot faster. So I don't have to deal with this for as long. Like, I'm not even that big of a germaphobe, but this is just unholy. This is, like I said, this is a torture. This is something you would inflict that I think would probably violate some sort of convention. Alright, let's see. Let's check the other side there. Come on, what am I missing in here? Do I need to go, yep, straight up? Alright. Let's see, are you ready to refill? Cool, I get some fresh air and I get to go pet my cats for moral support. Thank you, Bubbles. Thank you for helping me. You too, Ulysses, you are being a good therapy cat. I was curious if I can make it from there. Sad I don't see my third kitty anywhere. Would be kind of... I do like that they kind of just show up, so it kind of implies that I'm taking them with me in the van, which, if my cats were well trained enough to do that, I would absolutely bring them with me to places like this. But I only have the one cat. He lives with my parents because I can't keep him at the arcade. But... well, if I was skirting along the side, I was curious if I could go all the way around like that. Okay, that's full now. But yeah, he lives with my parents, and he is I love him, but he is an absolute idiot of a cat. Like, people talk about how, oh, cats are so clever and they can figure out how to do such cool but crafty stuff. Not my cat. My cat is straight up dumb. Like, he is... like, you know how when you have children who, oh, you can't be too mad at them. They're little, they're learning, they get smarter as they get older. But then you have that one kid who just somehow, ugh, this is always still horrifying. But you still have that one kid who never seems to learn anything, and not in like a, how to put it, not in like a actual learning disability way, but just in a, they never really grew up or bothered to learn sort of way. Like, they could have learned, they were fully capable of it, they just really didn't want to, so they never bothered to correct their way of thinking. That's my cat. He absolutely could be smarter if he really wanted to. I just think he feels like, well, I'm safe here, I don't have to try. So he doesn't. Like, my parents have sliding doors for their living room and their kitchen, and every other cat we've ever had has been able to figure it out after a while. Like, yeah, when they're kittens, they still take their time to learn how to do it. But, eventually they get the hang of it. My cat, no. He is well past the kitten stage, and he still struggles with them on some days. He'll just get lucky if one of them has been left slightly ajar. He can manage it. Alright, I guess I'll be nice and get you out of the goop. I now declare you baby. After I've tortured you by leaving you in the grime. Alright. I've almost got this place done. I'm just trying to... like I said, I'm trying to sanitize this as much as possible for public health and safety. Because, my gosh, this place needs it. It needs at least 13 more baths, a full round of bleach cleansing, and just everything sprayed with Lysol about 15 times before you even think about letting a person step foot in here. Ugh. And again, not even a germaphobe. No OCD, no, what's the... I forget what... I'm not like, I forget what the actual term is. It might just be germophobic. But none of that actually for me. This is just genuinely that gross that it sets off my ick levels. And I cannot get them to go back down because it's just that bad. It's that nasty. Okay, I think that's everything. So now, since we got everything pretty much soaked down, I think we'll just do quick rinse off. Get rid of all of this. Be gone from this world, foul stains. I'm betting some of these germs have been in here since the 70s or 80s or whenever this thing was built. Go ahead and get that part rinsed off. I think I got the inside of all this. Okay, that part looks good. This looks somewhat more acceptable, at least. I feel like I can breathe in and not inhale death every 5 seconds. Look, even the butterflies are starting to come back in here again. Alright. Almost got it all. Just blast the toilet a few times. Think that's everything in there. Okay, lower that real quick so I can get the top. Get the back of that a little bit. I probably need to get the bottom too. Yep. Okay, that's all of that. And then just finish up the walls, the sink, and the mirror. And then we can get out of this nightmare and never have to acknowledge again. My god, there was still toilet paper on that? Ugh. Please, please burn that toilet paper. Do not let any person use it. Nobody deserves that. I don't care if you're locked in prison for something horrible. You do not, nobody deserves that. Well, almost nobody, but still. Do not let anybody use this, anything in here. The soap, the toilet paper, none of it. This all needs to be cleansed before you allow anybody near it. Okay, what did I miss? Hand dryer. Alright, top of it's good. Right side's all good. Do I need to get from the bottom? Yep. Okay, I'm done. I'm out. I'm leaving. Goodbye for frickin' ever. You will never get me in there again. Ugh. I'm gonna be seeing that bathroom in my freaking nightmares tonight. The gnome does not show up on camera. The gnome is a vampire, or it is some sort of eldritch entity confirmed. Okay. Yeah, I'll be hearing from you again. God, I hope not. Please lose my number. The money was not worth this. Hi, babies. I need cuteness therapy. Please. Thank you. I appreciate you. You're all wonderful. You're all doing such a great job. I'm just gonna bury my face in the couch and scream for a little while. Okay, I'm better now. Just had to get that out of the system, babies. Okay. Oh yeah, we can... I think the furniture was in one of the shops. Oh, okay, yeah, this is where I can this is where I can use the stuff I've gotten. Okay, furniture. We've got our free rug and our free couch to start with. $2,000 for some shelves? No, thank you. Maybe the rug later. We'll see. Okay. I am kind of curious about, like, all these new attachments available. Like, let's see. What's the one gun that we have already? Whoa, these are some expensive attachments. My gosh. These things cost a lot. No colors available yet. I'm kind of disappointed by the lack of colors. I do hope they add more. I guess for now I'll settle with the red set. This costs so much. There we go. And eventually I'll get the band to match it. Well, parkour! I think it was in here that we had the furniture last time. Yeah. So let's go ahead and yeah, yellow nozzle. I think I mentioned last time too that I like sometimes watching rug cleaning ASMR videos. I know that a lot of them are staged. Like, yeah, they probably do get hired or find these really old, dirty rugs, but you know that they mess them up even more just to make it an interesting video. Okay, let's see. I think last time I set my stuff up in the sun over here. Yeah, I think over here was a nice spot. Come on, set down. There. Okay, we got a little achievement for my first decoration. Alright, and then let's get out our couch. Yep, nasty couch. Go ahead and get these legs taken care of. But gotta turn that part back on. There we go. I have to do this because I get motion sickness, and just doing my head back and forth like that is gonna make me very dizzy very quickly. I am not built for that type of movement. I am built to do a lot of different things. That is not one of them. I am not meant to shake my head around that rapidly. I also kind of get a little bit I kind of get a little dizzy in certain flight style games. I'm okay with most driving games, but some of them, like some of the old Star Wars games where you fly around in the TIE fighters and stuff like that, those I do not do well with. Those would be the sort of thing that would set off my motion sickness, because there would just be too many directions for my head to look at. Or I should say my eyes to look at, and felt like I was doing somersaults with my stomach area every time I did that. Alright. Go ahead and just finish spraying off the top of you. Oh, I didn't get to finish it. Oh well. At least we got our new comfy couch. And let's kind of do you like this. Not into the glass. There we go. Nice little comfy couch in our future waiting area lobby. Okay. At least now we're making it a little bit homier. Yeah, I don't think any of this has really changed from last time. Nope. Okay. Cool. Our babies, front and center. Aww. Okay, let's see. We got through the starting stuff, and I got time for at least one more new one. I think this was, yeah, the campsite was the new one. Let me know when you found the place. We've already headed for home. Camping is definitely not for us, and a pair of boggy sprogs and one grubby hubby were in no mood to hang about. Know what I mean? Don't really know what else to say about it all. Suppose the muck tells its own story, don't it? As long as you didn't leave an outhouse for me to clean, we'll be fine. Okay. I don't see anything. Ah, baby! Hello, Bubbles! The cats are going to be what keeps me sane in this world. Oh, that's interesting little visual glitch there. I don't... Okay, interesting. Let's take stock of what we got. How did you even get the axe and the wood that muddy? Jeez, the rocks, everything. Kind of scared to see what you did on the inside if the outside looks this bad. Bees, hello, buddies. Hi, Squeak. Hi, Ulysses. Aw. Okay, I feel better now. I am ready to conquer nature. Darn it, I was curious if I could walk down the way. I also see the gnome down here. I see you, gnome. You can't hide from me. The gnomes are everywhere. The gnomes are always watching. Never trust the gnomes. Okay. I think I'll start with the back of this area and work my way around to the little spots afterwards. Just because I know that it's going to... Yeah, you know what? I'll do the yellow nozzle for a bit. Save the soap for anything that looks really bad. I was mostly using the soap in the last ones to get through them quicker because we already went through that stuff in the demo and I wanted to get to the newer content. Then I just didn't want to keep reliving that horrid bathroom again. Let's see. Okay, this isn't too bad. Sorry, ADHD kind of kicked in for a second and I totally forgot what I was talking about 2 seconds ago. My bad. Oh, maybe it'll come back to me later. Like I said before in my supermarket simulator videos, I kind of just use these as a big stream of consciousness sort of thing, where I ramble about whatever comes to mind. Let's see, go ahead and get you taken care of. Honestly, it's not too bad. It's kind of grimy, but it's not like everything is super caked in, you know? I can live with that. Anything underneath on these windows? Yeah, I got the top of that part at least. Nope. Okay, window's fine. Oop. Get the back of that. You're fine down there. Alright. Yeah, I kind of want to save the front part for last. Just so that way we get a nice, satisfying final shot at the end. I also always found it interesting how this game never really follows any physics when it comes to the way the water moves. Because you would think that there would be like a drip or a drizzle effect where some of it would help with breaking down the dirt and all that on the next part below it, but nope. It just goes in a straight line, and that is all. Alright, go ahead and get the siding out of the way. Yeah, if it wasn't completely obvious, I am not a very neat and tidy person. I've seen a lot of people who, when they play these games, they just go back, forth, which I will do that sometimes, but most of the time I'm kind of treating it like a big giant marker or a thing of spray paint, where I'm just unloading it and just scraping the dirt away in big waves. I just find that more fun with the motion, honestly. I feel like if I went back and forth too frequently, or if I went too slowly, I'd probably get problems with my wrist joints. Okay, go ahead and get that area done at least. Oh, got a message. Yeah, it's just something else, huh? It's almost like you're living in lawless wilderness. Take this morning, for example. I thought I'd make us pots of delicious porridge to eat after mushroom picking in the woods. Oh, that is already a great start to that story. Love to hear that you went mushroom picking. Did you guys start seeing unicorns and spiders everywhere? Or unicorns made of spiders, or spider-sized unicorns? I don't know why I'm stuck on the unicorns. I really couldn't tell you, honestly. I think it's supposed to be like elephants or something that you see when you're hallucinating really bad or tripping balls. Alright, let's get the other side, and then I'll get the roof later when I'm going to get the front. Oh boy, yeah, this side is just as bad. I still want to know how porridge resulted in all of this. Which, honestly, the stories you get from this are a good part of the fun in this game is, okay, how do you go from you wanted to plant a garden in your front yard to you dug up an entire crane truck? Which, I'm not kidding you, that actually is one of the things in the first game. Okay, let's go ahead and get this side now. I'll probably hit the chimney a little bit better once I get up top. Just kind of want to get started on it at least. There's only so much you can do at a distance until you get, like I said, the really super extra long attachments that let you spray for what feels like miles. I would love those when I was doing buildings. I could get a good portion of it without ever needing to step foot on the ladder. Also, I tend to... There you go, sorry, I just had to move a little bit. I tend to, with the buildings, just try and get as much as I can from the ground level. And then if I do need to go up and get stuff, I like to just climb on the building itself rather than stand from the ladder or the scaffolding if I can help it. Heck, one of my favorite little add-on things that they did for the first PowerWash simulator was when they had the Final Fantasy VII content. Because I freaking love Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy in general is fun, but 7's a classic for me. But Yeah, they had the Final Fantasy VII stuff you could do, including cleaning the giant frickin' robots. That was fun. There was no way I was gonna stand on the scaffolding instead of climbing up on the giant deadly robot coated in mutant viscera. Where would the fun in that be? You know? Alright, let's go ahead and hit some of these little things real quick. Again, how did porridge lead to all of this, Vicky? I have questions. I have concerns. I am wondering if I need to call somebody, if this is what the sort of thing you're cooking usually results in, because I am worried for your husband and children if it is. Reminds me of that. I don't watch it anymore, but back when it first came out, there was a show on Food Network called Worst Cooks in America. And it was basically people, I think a lot of times getting tricked by their relatives into signing up, thinking that, oh, I'm going to impress the judges with my best dish. And, you know, like thinking they're getting a chance to cook for these super famous judges. But nope. Instead, they're being brought on to Worst Cooks in America because their family is just, their cooking is just that horrific and the family has had enough. They don't want to do it anymore. They can't. They want to live to see their next birthday. And some of it was just a regular level of gross. But then you would have things like and I kid you not, this was something I saw more than once. Somebody cooked something in the freaking dishwasher. Oh, there's Vicky again. But when we got back from our walk, all our porridge had been eaten, even though hubby likes his stone cold and I like mine boiling hot. To be fair, our kids' porridge was there for the taking, as they like theirs somewhere in the middle. Alright, Goldilocks. Or I guess you'd be Mama Bear in this situation, wouldn't you? Let's see, got that. Alright, thinking about which way I want to tackle this. I think I'll go ahead and jump to the top. Let's see, go ahead and get you, I think, on the back, so that way you don't ruin the final shot. Alright, and since I'm up here, go ahead and get the top of this chimney done. But yeah, you would have people who would be cooking things in the freaking dishwasher, like just straight up wrap a fish fillet in aluminum foil, stick it in the dishwasher, and call that edible. And I'm just like, oh my god, you people can't be real. You can't be actual human beings. Please tell me you are paid actors. Because if you are admitting on live TV that this is how you feed your family, how you feed your children who are dependent on you for sustenance, I think some calls are going to have to be made, because there is no way that's legal to do. And, like, it was bad enough seeing that happen once, but then getting older and finding out that there were still people who thought that was okay, that thought, oh yeah, I can totally cook something in the dishwasher. It's such a neat little life hack. Haha. No, you are an idiot. Do not, please. For the love of all that is good in the world and anything edible, do not ever, ever. Oh shoot, did I miss a spot up here? Yeah, I did miss some spots. But yeah, do not ever cook in a freaking dishwasher. I can't believe I have to say that, but there are people out there who do that, who think that is an okay and normal and acceptable thing to do. And it's not. It really isn't. That is something that just they think that it saves time and money. When no, what it does is barely warms up your food, has the possibility of mixing in dish soap into whatever you're trying to cook. And then if you're doing anything involving meat where there's a risk of bacteria, then the dishwasher does not get hot enough to kill the bacteria. When it comes to I mean, yes, a dishwasher does get hot, particularly if you have one that's made to be sold in the Americas, because those have a heated drying coil at the bottom. That's part of why you can't put delicate things like glasses and Tupperware on the bottom, because it'll melt or shatter them. Like I said, I know a lot about appliances and big machines like that. But yeah, it gets hot, but it does not get to the threshold that's high enough to kill bacteria. So the way it works, and like I think one of the things I saw before with somebody who talked about cooking in the dishwasher was they talked about fish. Like they had a big fish fillet dish that they cooked in the dishwasher to save time and money, because I could just do it all in there and then it'll get done really quick and then I won't have to run a load of dishes afterwards. Haha. It's like, no, you're stupid. And there's like a whole discussion about why that's a bad idea, which you would think people know that already, but apparently they don't. But yeah, the reason that's a bad idea, the reason that does not work under any circumstance, is because when people talk about stuff like that, they try to cite things like, I mean, you can eat raw fish and it's fine. Yeah, in certain conditions. There's a reason why certain types of fish you see at a store are labeled as sushi grade and others aren't. It has to do with the freshness and how cold it's kept. Because you can't just use any supermarket value grade cut of salmon for your salmon sushi that you want to make at home to impress your friends and family. It has to be good enough and cold enough that there is no danger of bacteria forming on it, because there's a whole thing about temperature levels where if fish is above a certain temperature, bacteria will start to form on it, so it has to be kept really, really cold. But on the other side of it, if it's not hot enough, like if you get it hot enough, then it'll kill the bacteria and you'll be safe. But if it's in the middle, guess what? You're eating a big old plate of death. Tell you something else that's weird about camping. Out here, everything has legs. I didn't catch the last of that, but I don't know if I want to. Okay, I think that's everything up here on the cabin part itself. Alright, let's do the rocks next. Kind of reminds me of the first game where you could kind of... There was like a backyard area with a spa and a pool and everything that you could clean off, and they had rocks like these on the path. Those are kind of relaxing to clean. But yeah, like I was saying before, when it comes to cooking, it really baffles me how dense and how dumb some people can be about the things they eat, the things they put in their body, and the things they feed to other people. Because there's a difference between not knowing how to cook and the level of what made you think this was safe to even consume for a human being. And there's also just the people who didn't listen. I remember one of the ones from the first 1 or 2 seasons was on Chef Anne's team, and he was a vegetarian or a vegan, and they had a burgers challenge, because those kind of thing is that each week they would learn how to cook something new and apply those lessons. And so they had the one where they were learning about making your own burgers and all that, and how to cook on grills and everything. And you had the one guy who was like, Chef Anne, what about if you're a vegan or a vegetarian or whatever? And she's like, oh yeah, there's lots of alternatives you could do. You could do it. They make ground tofu that's firm enough that you can that you can turn it into a burger patty. They have you could do a nice big grilled portobello instead of meat. She's giving him all of these alternatives for what would work really well for a vegan substitute to a burger. And you know what this man does instead? He decides he's going to make a grilled cheese instead. And no, I don't mean a classic grilled cheese sandwich. I mean the man literally put a slice of cheese on a bar grill and just was confused about it melting through the gaps. So not only did he completely ignore everything he was told that was good advice, he basically didn't even know how to make a grilled cheese in the first place, and just kind of spit in the face of all of the chef's suggestions. Because she was being more than fair, because, hey, you know, she's a chef. She's used to cooking with ingredients that she would probably never eat herself personally. And there are plenty of chefs out there who have to be like that, where I guarantee you there are plenty of chefs out there who are vegetarian, vegan, what have you, who will still cook if it's their job to cook a certain recipe. Because not every chef out there can work in a vegetarian or vegan restaurant. But you know, he's not a chef. He was a home cook, and she was trying to be accommodating to give him ideas that he could feel comfortable handling, since he wasn't comfortable with handling the meat, and he just ignored it. And so it was no surprise when he ended up going home, because part of learning how to be better at something is learning to listen to your freaking teachers when they give you advice. If you are somewhere where you are learning from trained, paid professionals because you really need to be there because your skills are not good enough, or even if you just want to improve your skills, you have somebody who makes thousands, if not millions of dollars every year doing this thing, why would you not listen to the advice they're giving you, you know? I have never understood that. It's like when you're watching Kitchen Nightmares and you see all of these people that try to argue with Chef Ramsay about how you don't know what you're talking about. My food is good. My standards are good. My customer service is amazing. Yeah, buddy, if that was the case, you wouldn't be failing and losing your home, your business, your marriage, whatever. And then they either get a reality check, or they kind of just stay in their own delusional bubble and go back to the way it used to be and wonder why their businesses fail. Because, hey, guess what? We've set you up in a way where you can make money. It may not be exactly the way you wanted it, but this is a way that will help you profit in your specific area. And then they get surprised when it doesn't work out. I think there was an episode of Bar Rescue. That's another show that I really like watching in the past, but it's been a while. But there was an episode of Bar Rescue that was kind of a similar idea, where there was a pirate-themed bar, and it was a cute novelty idea, but it was not set up in the right area for it to be a viable long-term business model, because it was in the middle of a big corporate office park, and there was no way that all of these dudes in big suits working really, really high-paying jobs and finances were going to come and hit up a bar like that where people are going around in full pirate attire talking with, like, pirates and all that after a long, busy day at work, coming in wearing full suits and everything. They would not, like, occasionally you'll get, like, one or two who will come in there as, like, oh yeah, it's nearby, let's grab a drink. But they're not gonna want to come back, usually. It's not gonna be their regular hangout. And while having dreams and ambitions is nice, when you own a business, you're at the whims of the public and the market. And if you're going to want to set up that type of business, you need to be in the right area for it to work. Like, if you're in a bar like that could work if, say, it was in more of a seaside town where it was like a beach bar, especially one of the ones like in North Carolina or places like that where they have a history of piracy. And you could, like, there's beaches where they have entire museums, exhibits, statues, and all that dedicated to the different pirates who've lived around there before. I think that's everything on the barbecue, so we should be good there. But, yeah, that's the sort of place where a pirate-themed bar could work. You're probably not going to get all the locals coming back all that often, but you're definitely going to get at least money during the tourism seasons. And that'll, I mean, depending on how busy the tourist industry still is in some of those areas, you could make good money on that. You would just have to know your market. But you can't just... I'm very much a believer in if you are passionate about what you do, then you can find a way to make a living off of it. But at the same time, again, you have to listen to your market. You have to listen to what everybody else is telling you. If you are not doing well and you're seeking advice, you have to be willing to listen to that advice. You can't just say, well, screw you, you don't know what you're talking about. Everything is perfect, and keep your blinders on. But that's not gonna work long term. You're gonna just set yourself up for failure if you don't know how to change and grow. So yeah, that's always the thing that baffles me with some of those shows and some of those situations. Because in those situations, it's like you are literally the ones begging for somebody to come and help you. So why are you not listening to the help that you are being given? That's just saying that you want somebody to do the work for you to fix the problem, but you're not willing to take responsibility or accountability yourself. And again, long-term, set up for failure. You are not going to survive for long that way. Because pride can only take you so far when you don't have the skills or the money to back it up. Alright, let's see. I need to blast... How can I blast the bottom of that kettle? Okay, there we go, got it. Alright, what else do I need to get? Is it something at the bottom of the pit? No, it's not that. I see the little target reticle keeps coming up, but I can't see what it's trying to tell me I need to get. Because it keeps pointing in the middle here, but... Is it the chain, the hook? What are you trying to tell me? I can't see it. Oh, it's the trim. Okay. Okay, now I'm missing some stuff on the cabin. Was it this trim? Okay. I keep hearing, like, mosquitoes. So, the pipe. And then the roof. Was something on the ridge. Alright. And, whoop. Is this spruce spring clean? Your friend Harper says you'd be up for helping me out. My house is nothing short of a national disgrace. Oh, that looks like that'll be a fun one. Well, let's go ahead and see that replay. Yeah, I had a feeling it was going to show the front for the very end. That's why I wanted to get all that last. Alright, very satisfying. I just heard that we got our deposit back, and after watching that amazing bid, I'm not surprised. Incredible, incredible job. Thank goodness for you and that amazing portable power washer of yours. Hopefully the bear or whatever it is didn't wake up and bother you. We left it sleeping in the lodge and didn't know whether to mention it or not. Excuse me? You left a what in the where? Cool, I'm lucky I didn't get mauled to death. Might have to sue you next time for that. Well, I am definitely going to be doing at least 1 or 2 more videos of this because I am very, very happy that this is out. And I'm going to be looking forward to exploring the rest of this map now that we've got new areas we can go to. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Say bye-bye, kitties! Bye-bye! Aw, game over already? Don't worry, there's always more fun to be had later. If you enjoyed your stay, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you for visiting Arya's Arcade. Bye-bye!